Well, good morning and welcome back to the program. It's just about 5 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. Please join me in welcoming my very good friend, Raquel from the Central Bank of Curacao and St. Martin. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Sak. How are
Good,
you?
good. Nice to see you, my friend. Hope all is well.
All is well. Very
Good.
busy, but well.
Busy is good.
Busy is always good.
Busy is always good. So I know pretty soon, almost at the end of March, correct?
Yes, March 31st
The uh,
this year.
the new Caribbean Gilder will hit the street.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, they're beautiful. The,
Thank
the
you.
notes are
Thank you
beautiful.
so much. Yes, it was quite a process. Took us about 5 years
Hmm.
to go from start, finding out who we were going to work with, what a design is going to look like, then finalizing the design, having it to print, to mint until we are now like a few minutes before midnight.
I mean, I would imagine that the whole process of printing or minting currency is just a very complicated
Yeah,
thing.
it's an art. I'm honestly very lucky to be a part of this working group that was involved with the introduction of the Caribbean Gilder. So when we started, we first settled on a team, and we
Hmm.
settled on the team, the Underwater World. That is a team that is very close to our heart. It is a team that also resonates with both the people of Curacao and St. Martin because that was a challenge as well. What is a team that you're going to find that doesn't, because you're sharing a currency with
Right.
Curacao. So you have to find a team that works for both countries. So we ended up there. And then in the whole process of designing and first finding a vendor, which was a supplier, which also was a process. We had requests for proposals that went out. Then we had the meetings, and finally we decided with approval of board and we were able to continue. But then the printing process, and you cannot believe that for every note that you get, you need to you get let's say a blueprint that you have to study and go back and forth and go back and
Hmm.
forth until it's just right, and then it goes to the factory.
I mean, I mean, is printing currency just like printing anything else? You make an order, or I mean, I meant the security concerns just
Yeah,
alone have to
yeah.
be a.
So I had an opportunity to go to the factory where the currency is for the banknote specifically, where the currency is being printed, and the security is such that you cannot go in with your phone. You
Hmm.
have to leave that outside. You're being scanned,
Hmm.
and when you go in, you wear you yeah, that's it. It's the printers are huge. They go from, let's say, from one end of this building to the other end,
Hmm.
and the printing is done in various layers. So you have first they do security feature one, and
Hmm.
then the color two, and then security feature three. So it's not let's say a mall, and then you do it.
It's
You,
not some. It's not something
it's
that you and I could replicate.
no, impossible. It's layer on
Mm.
layer on layer on layer.
In my old life, I was very involved in banking and technology
Hmm.
back in the day, and one of my clients was the United States Federal Reserve
Oh,
System,
amazing. Yeah.
and somewhere I still have this. But one of the gifts they used to give you when you went to the Fed was they would give you a little bag of shredded money.
Exactly. Yes.
And what they would do is as the bills would come back in out of circulation, they would shred them,
Hmm.
and then mix them up,
Yeah.
and then put,
Yeah.
put them in nice little
Yeah.
bags with
Yeah. Yeah.
they would sell as
Yeah.
souvenirs. And for
Actually,
you,
we have that as well. We don't sell it, but
yeah,
with the money that is
yeah.
coming back, will be exactly the same. They go to the shredder.
Yeah, and we took the same, and so it was like the biggest talking piece in my office. There was a bag of
Yeah.
shredded money, and but I will never forget going into the money vault for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
As I was working with the Fed, and you wander around, and it's such a highly secure factory
Mm-hmm.
that's just filled with, at that point, was filled
Mm-hmm.
with dollars. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and
Mm-hmm.
the security was so tight.
Yeah. 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 Same with us, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
And
You
they
said,
used
yeah.
robots and to move things around.
Mm.
They tried to
Mm-hmm.
minimize people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so super interesting stuff to see and observe. Um, and I'm really quite happy to know about all the security features in the new notes that are coming out. What about the coins, though? I mean, how do they do similar types of
Yeah,
security things with?
yes, the coins, the security features are a little bit different. What they do, they have them. You have they do it's security features and a way to distinguish themselves. So the size is different as you go through the denominations
Hmm.
from the one. So actually, you have a 1 cent, a 5 cents, a 10 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents,
Hmm.
1 guilder, and 5 guilder.
Hmm.
So the weight is different. The 1 and the 5 guilder, um, those are the most secure. So they're actually it's not an even coin. It's a multicolor coin.
Hmm.
So bicolor. So you have it's very difficult. Once you get them in hand, you will see it, but it's a coin that consists of two rings that are meshed together, and each ring has its own color. So that in itself is a security feature as well. The outer rings they have, how do you say it? You can feel that they are different per coin. So that is also a security feature. So they're not easily um, you cannot make them or falsify them easily. The coins are magnetic as well. Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm thinking about when if people were going to try and counterfeit or fake
Mm-hmm.
currency, chances are they're going to try and fake not the coins but
Yeah,
the bills.
they would go for the higher denominations
Yeah.
for the bills. So in you spoke about a little bit about the security features, but specifically with these ones,
Mm.
there are so many security features. There are things that you could feel with your hands. There are things that you could see. The color is different. There's color changing ink on the banknotes. There are strips um, that once you move them, the object, they're 3D strips, the object will change. So there's a lot embedded in the banknote, which will make it highly impossible to falsify.
The interestingly enough, there was a round of counterfeit U.S. $20 bills
Mm.
floating around at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and um, where it would say the United States of America, it says motion picture purposes.
And people accepted it.
Yeah, there's and then
Yes.
and
Let me
there's a
see.
whole. So if you can see, it's pretty.
Oh,
It's not a touch
okay,
screen,
okay.
but yeah, it's pretty wild. The
And people
creative,
still do it.
the creative stuff that people are.
Yeah, 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 I know.
And, with a U.S. note too, the paper is so unique. The
Yeah,
texture is
yeah,
so unique.
yeah.
It's really hard to fake that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But I remember even years ago when I was in my banking career, we used to people would take a in the U.S. the rule is that if you have 2/3 of the bill is still
Mm-hmm.
legal currency,
Mm-hmm.
legal tender.
Mm-hmm.
So people would take a $20 bill and a $1 bill, and off the 20 they would take a one,
Yes.
and off the corner they would cut
And it
one corner off of each of four different $20 bills, and the 20s were still valid, and paste it on the
yeah,
corners of a $1. So as you flip through to count, you just
yeah,
see
you
that
just and you
you
miss it.
you
Yeah,
miss it,
yeah,
and we would
yeah,
see that all the
yeah.
time.
That's gonna be a little bit difficult here
Yeah.
because as soon as you start messing with some of the security features, they
Mm.
just lose their effect, and
Right.
you will notice it right away.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the rule in terms of as the bills get old in our banking system?
Mm-hmm.
How much of the bill does one need to be intact for it to be considered
So
legal tender?
the serial number has to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very important.
So if the
Yeah,
serial number is
yeah,
still
yeah.
there and
Well, you
visible,
cannot come with only a piece of a serial number, but
right?
it has to be. I'm sorry to say, I don't know the exact
Uh,
percentage, but at least a serial number has to be there.
got it. Live and learn.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it's nice to know that all these are just filled with lots of security features
Mm-hmm.
so that we don't have issues
No,
going
no,
forward.
that was really one of our goals. You know, make sure that the banknotes and the coins that are secure,
Mhm.
that they are easy to recognize, that they're also um, very important that they're inclusive, that the
Mhm.
visually impaired can also use them, and there are elements on the banknotes and the coins that are specific for them. So that was also an item, but also that it's something that the population of Curacao and Saint Martin can be proud of, and that they can say, hey, this is our currency, and this is something that we're going to cherish, and this is something that we're going to use and embrace.
Got it. So I'm wondering. So it's the same currency both on St. Martin and in Curacao.
Yes.
So I can use my new Gilder here,
Yeah.
get on the plane,
Yeah.
go visit in
Yeah.
Curacao, use my new
Yes.
Gilder
Yes.
there.
Yes.
There's
We
no.
are, yes, Curacao and St. Martin are part of a monetary union. So the banknotes, so actually you have a 10, a 20, a 50,
Mhm.
see, 100 and a 200. So you have five banknotes. You can use them on both islands. In front of the banknote is a sea creature, and
Mhm.
in the back there is a specific uh, element as it pertains to. Some of them are Curacao
Mhm.
related, some of them are St. Martin's related, but that doesn't matter. You can still use them on both islands. For the coins are the nominations that I just mentioned. You have specific coins that say Curacao, and you have specific coins that say St. Martin. Nevertheless, those two you can use on both islands.
So in other
Yeah.
words, it's the coins and the currency, the paper currency,
Yeah.
are affected are usable on
Yes.
either island.
On either
That's
island.
important. That's
Yeah.
important to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you? This might be slightly off topic, but as we think of new paper money,
Mm-hmm.
things are becoming so electronic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do we see less paper in circulation than we used to? I always wonder.
You know, every year we publish our yellow book statistics,
Mhm.
and that basically says the amount of transactions that are done, local, interbank, and we look at them, and also cash in circulation. And surprisingly enough, in Curacao and Saint Martin, cash in circulation is not reducing. It's actually
Interesting.
no, it's not. Even though we go more digital, and you see the trend, cash is still a very strong payment instrument in our countries.
Without a doubt,
Yeah.
here and people,
Yeah, cash is king.
people
That
walk in with
yeah,
cash.
yeah.
Although I had something really weird happen the other day. I went to deposit cash into my own account,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even a lot of money. But somebody, I lent some money to somebody. They paid
Yeah.
me back in cash, and I wanted to put it in the bank account.
Yeah.
And they charged me a fee for depositing money to my own
Yeah.
bank account. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, so certain banks have certain fees,
yeah,
and I think that is to discourage. That would be my perception to the use of cash to guide more people towards digital channels,
yeah,
because of course that's less labor intensive, less room for fraud, less
sure.
room for error. So that could be a reason, but
Yeah, it was just
Mhm.
really frustrating, and
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. I just walked into the bank,
Yeah.
made my deposit.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen in a while, Sock. Nice to see you. Because we all know each other, and then I get home and looked at the receipt, and I'm like, what? And I blew a gasket, and I
Mhm.
called the country manager,
Mm.
and I said, what is this?
Mm.
I had some really choice words.
Yeah.
And sure, they rebated the fee, but
Mm.
yeah, it was their policy now.
Mm.
I was just blown away, just blown away. Raquel, I can't thank you enough for coming in to chat with us. What is the process going to be like when we get to March 31st? All of your paper gilders that you have that are old style can then just be exchanged at the bank one for one?
Yes. So there is a whole process actually, or a timeline that's about 30 years.
Mhm.
March 31st, the new currency goes into circulation. And because it will take some time for the currency to get to the end user, it goes from the central bank to the commercial bank, and then it needs to hit the stores and the general public, so to speak. So there are the 3 months after March 31st, you can use both currencies simultaneously. They're both legal tender, both the Antillean Guilder and the Caribbean Guilder. So that's 3 months. And after that, on the 30th of June 2025, yes, the Antillean Guilder is no longer legal tender. So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
If you still have, you can bring it to your commercial bank. They will take it up to a year after the introduction date. That is until the 31st of March 2026. So that whole year,
Mm-hmm.
any Antillean Guilder that you have, you can bring to your bank, and they will accept it and deposit it on your account or do an exchange for you. The only exception to this rule is that if you don't have a bank account, because we have to cater to everybody,
Mm.
those that don't have a bank account, they can come to the central bank from day one. Up until 2,500 guilders, we do a one-time exchange for you. Above that, you have to fill in a source of funds, and you will have to make an appointment, and then we'll review the documents, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
So that is 1 year, but in total, basically, as the commercial bank stopped accepting money, from that day, you still have 29 years to come to the central bank.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have time.
Yeah.
Do it soon. Do it
But
early.
but
Do it
still,
early.
yes, still we encourage everybody to do it as soon as possible. Um, you know, we as a country have to make sure that St. Martin gets a has a good standing in looking at anti-money laundering and other international standards. So the longer you wait, the more questions you get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Raquel, I can't thank you enough for coming in.
Thank you.
That was a I learned stuff this morning.
Very
So
good.
bravo.
Always a day to learn.
I had a
Every day.
100 Gilder note. I used it.
Yeah.
I used it. It was in my wallet. I'm like, I'm just going to use it.
No, but it's
Yeah.
good. I mean, we encourage people to, if you have some cash at home, to use it or start making the deposits. And the banks will automatically transfer your balance from Antillean Guilder to Caribbean Guilder on April 1st. And that will go automatically. So
Yeah. Do it. Do it.
Do
Do it.
it.
You do it easy.
do
Get
it
it over with.
now. Yeah.
There you go. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Promise me you'll come back and visit again soon.
Anytime.
The door is always open. You know that.
Thank you. Thank
It
you so
is
much.
pleasure was all mine. It is 10:21 as we work our way through the morning together. More fresh air in the morning is on the way. Please stick around. We'll see where we go next.